Are you hesitating as you look at those old cans of WD-40 lying around in the garage, about to be tossed in the trash? Don't rush to throw them away. Turn them into a super handy item that can help you out in emergencies. If you find this tip helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Ready to roll up your sleeves? Let's dive in. First, start by removing the spray nozzle from the can. Just give it a gentle pull and it should pop right off. This small piece is a key to turning the old can into something useful. Next, drill a small hole on the top of the can where the nozzle was attached. Through this hole, you can carefully pull out the tiny tube that connects to the spray head inside. This little tube will be what you repurpose for your new use. After drilling, use a pair of tweezers to carefully pull the tube out. Take your time so it doesn't get bent or damaged while removing it. Next, use a cutting tool to carefully cut off the top part of the can. Make sure to do this slowly and steadily to keep the edges clean and avoid any sharp burrs. Then, smooth out the cut edge using sandpaper. This will remove any sharp bits and make the surface safer and more polished to handle. Sand it down until you feel the edge is no longer sharp and safe to touch. Next, drill a hole at the bottom of the can. This will serve as an opening for whatever function you're about to repurpose the can for. Be sure to drill slowly and keep the hole neat. Now that the can's design is complete, I'll move on to the special modification that will transform it into a stove. Perfect for emergencies or camping trips. Prepare 4 candles and cut them into small pieces. This will make it easier to melt and use them as fuel for the stove. Next, place all the candle pieces into a small metal container and heat them until they melt completely. You can also use an aluminum can as a container for melting the wax. Once the wax is completely melted, I'll mix it together with sawdust to create a more solid and longer-lasting fuel source. Before adding the sawdust, I'll first mix in a small amount of charcoal powder. Since I don't have charcoal powder, I'll need to grind it myself. Or you can put it in a bag and crush it with a hammer or any heavy object until it's powdered. The charcoal not only helps the mixture ignite more easily, but also increases the heat and makes the flame last longer. By blending it with the melted wax, it creates a denser and more efficient fuel base, which will be especially useful when using the can as a makeshift stove in emergencies or during outdoor camping. Once the charcoal and wax are well mixed, I'll gradually add the sawdust into the mixture, stirring continuously to ensure everything is evenly combined. Add it little by little while stirring constantly to make sure the mixture is uniform and well blended. Sawdust helps absorb the wax, giving the mixture structure and making it burn more steadily and longer, while also making it easier to light. Now I'll thread a bolt through the bottom of the can. Now I'll thread a bolt through the bottom of the can. Next, slowly pour the wax, sawdust, and charcoal mixture into the can. Take your time to ensure it fills the container evenly without spilling over the sides. Make sure to keep the bolt centered in the can as you pour. This will allow you to press down and compact the mixture evenly, ensuring it's tightly packed for a more stable and efficient burn. Continue pouring until all of the wax, sawdust, and charcoal mixture is in the can. Make sure the mixture is evenly distributed around the bolt and gently press it down to remove any air gaps. This ensures the fuel is compact and solid, ready for use in your emergency or camping stove. Once all the mixture is in, take the top part of the can that was cut off earlier and thread it onto the bolt. Then, use a nut to tighten it down, pressing firmly to compact the mixture evenly inside the can. This secures the fuel and makes it solid and stable, ready for use. Once it's set, the mixture will form a solid block inside. Now I'll unscrew and remove the bolt. After I remove the bolt, it leaves a hole like this. When the flame reaches the inside, the wax will melt and flow down through that hole. Now I'll drill an extra hole in the middle of the can's body so I can control the flame size. Make the hole just big enough to let molten wax and hot gases escape. Open it more for a bigger flame. Close it slightly for a smaller, steadier burn. Take an empty soda can and cut out the middle section. This will be used as part of the stove structure or as a shield for the flame. Trim the edges to remove any sharp parts, making it safer to handle. Use this ring to wrap around the WD-40 can. It will help support the structure and can act as a flame guard or stabilizer for your makeshift stove. When it covers a hole, the flame will become smaller and weaker. It works just like a simple flame controller. Next, I'll need a piece of wick to use as the starter for the stove. Cut a short piece of wick and thread it through the hole on the stove. This will serve as the ignition point for lighting the fuel. Now, carefully light the wick to test the stove. Watch as the flame catches and the wax mixture begins to burn, flowing through the hole and creating a steady, controlled fire. Make sure to keep a safe distance and have water or a fire extinguisher nearby while testing. Once the wick is burned down, the flame will reach the inner wax mixture, allowing it to melt and continue burning steadily from inside the can. The stove burns very steadily. The flame is consistent and controlled, without flickering wildly or sputtering. Thanks to the compacted wax and sawdust mixture, it maintains an even burn for a long time, making it reliable for cooking or heating in an emergency or camping situation. The mixture inside wax, sawdust, and charcoal acts as a solid, long-lasting fuel. It melts gradually when burning, feeding the flame steadily through the hole, providing consistent heat, and making the stove safe and reliable for cooking or warming without the need for constant attention. This stove can be used for cooking or heating food in emergencies or while camping. Its design provides a stable, controllable flame that's strong enough to boil water, warm meals, or even simmer small pots, making a practical and portable cooking solution when conventional stoves aren't available. And that's it. With just an old WD-40 can, some candles, sawdust, and a few simple tools, you've turned trash into a practical, portable stove. It's perfect for emergencies, camping trips, or any situation where a reliable, small cooking flame is needed. Simple, safe, and surprisingly effective. Who knew an old can become such a handy survival tool? Think about it. With a hook like this, what else could you do besides hanging things? It sounds simple, but if you use it the right way, it can actually be quite handy for many tasks. I'm going to try cutting it, combine it with a few materials I already have at home, and see what I can make with it. I'm choosing the straight part and cutting it off. I decided to use a metal hook instead of a plastic one, since it's sturdier and can handle more pressure without breaking. Next, I'll cut and shape it a bit to get the form I need. The metal is quite tough, so I have to work carefully to make it smooth and even. I mark a point at 15 centimeters, then divide that section into 2 equal parts of 7.5 centimeters each. This will help me keep the measurement precise when bending or attaching later. Next, I'll grind one end of this metal rod to make it sharp. After grinding it, the tip becomes quite sharp. Be careful. Stay tuned till the end. You won't believe what this turns into. Next, I'll prepare a plastic bottle. This one's easy to find and perfect for what I'm about to do. I'll mark a few points on the bottle cap so the drilling later stays aligned and doesn't go off-center. I'll drill these 3 holes. After drilling, I'll shape the bottle cap a little to get it ready for the next step. Once it's shaped, I take 2 screws, insert them into the holes on each side, and secure them in place. Tighten them all the way until they're snug against the cap. Next, I'll attach the bent metal rod into the center hole of the bottle cap. I'm going to put some hot glue inside the bottle cap, making sure it fills the space around both the screws and the metal rod. This will firmly hold everything in place and prevent any wobbling or loosening later. Now it looks just like a little crank handle, doesn't it? Next, I'll grab a metal can. You can also use a food can for this. It doesn't have to be new, and either type works perfectly. Just make sure it's clean and sturdy enough for what we're going to do next. I'll mark 2 points on the bottom of the can where I'll drill holes. This ensures the holes are in the right place and evenly spaced for the next step. Oh no, I accidentally drilled the second hole in the wrong spot. But it's not a big deal. I can simply mark a new spot a little bit away from the first one and drill again. Mistakes like this happen, and it won't affect the final result at all. So there's no need to worry. Next, I'll draw a line from the center of the can to the drilled hole. This will help guide the placement and alignment for the next steps. Then, I'll use a cutting tool to cut along the line I just drew. After making the cut, I'll take a screwdriver and gently pry the metal, creating a slight gap between the 2 pieces. This small offset is important for the next step. Then I'll carefully file and sharpen the edge to give a smooth blade-like finish, making it look and function more like a plain blade. Next, I'll cut off a portion of the bottom of the plastic bottle. Then, I place the metal can on top and use a heat gun to shrink the bottom of the bottle, making it fit snugly around can. Have you guys figured out what this is yet? Yep, this is a homemade tool for making those delicious spiral cut potatoes. With it, you can turn a regular potato into a fun, twisted snack, perfect for frying or roasting. It's simple but really clever, and you'll be surprised how effective it is once you start using it. Now I'm going to test how this tool actually works. Let's dive in and see it in action. First, I'll prepare the potato by washing it thoroughly and peeling off all the skin. It's important to make sure the surface is clean and smooth, so the blade can cut through easily and create an even spiral. Once it's peeled, the potato is ready for the next step. Next, I'll insert the metal rod straight through the center of the potato. This will keep it steady while cutting and help the spiral form evenly all the way through. Then, I use the 2 side screws to pin the potato in place. This helps keep it from spinning loosely while I start cutting, making the spiral more precise and even. When I start turning the handle, the blade twists through the potato, slicing it in a continuous spiral shape just like a tornado potato. When I remove the cap at the bottom, the potato comes out perfectly spiral-shaped, a smooth, even twist from top to bottom. It's really satisfying to see how neatly it forms after all the steps. The spiral turns out beautifully even and smooth. Each slice has the same thickness, curling neatly around just like the ones you see at street food stalls. It looks really impressive for something made with simple tools. It ended up breaking apart a little, but that's mostly because I'm still getting the hang of using the tool. Once you get used to the motion and keep a steady hand while turning, the spiral will come out perfectly in one continuous piece. I'll do the same thing with the next potato. Skewer it onto the metal rod, secure it with the side screws, and start turning the handle again. This time, I'll move more slowly and steadily to get a cleaner, smoother spiral. And that's it, with just a few simple materials. We made a handy little tool for creating spiral cut potatoes right at home. It works surprisingly well, and once you get the hang of it, you can make perfect, evenly twisted snacks anytime you want. Simple, fun, and definitely worth a try. And that wraps it up for today's project. A simple hook, a can, and a plastic bottle. Who would have thought they could turn into such a fun and useful tool? If you enjoyed this idea, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of my next DIY experiments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.